Teotihuacan is a mysterious city about an hour outside of Mexico City. There's something magical about the ruins, whether floating above them in a hot air balloon or exploring on foot. Today we'll share the best ways to see Teotihuacan by air and on the ground. A hot air balloon tour of Teotihuacan means an early morning. We were up at 4 a.m. to take a Didi, it's like an Uber, out to Teotihuacan around 5 so we would arrive by 6 a.m. Our Didi was 477 pesos plus about 130 pesos for the tolls. You can pay for transportation through your tour company, but we found this to be cheaper. After arriving and signing some papers, you hang out for a bit and can eat some breakfast of conchas and coffee or tea. Around 7 a.m., they start loading everyone into vans to go to the launch site. As the sun is still rising, you lift into the air in a giant hot air balloon. The views are breathtaking as you float over the pyramids with all the other balloons surrounding you. Your flight lasts about 45 to 60 minutes, or maybe a bit longer if you overshoot your landing spot like we did. We got a nice scenic tour over the town of San Juan, Teotihuacan as well. Once you land, they drive you back to the office for a champagne or juice toast. We flew with WeFly Teotihuacan and had a great time. Our pilot was awesome and I was so amazed at his skills. They have a weekday deal Monday through Friday for 2,000 pesos. That was the best deal we found. Watch out for tours that display one price, but it isn't really the total price. If you're enjoying this video, make sure you've subscribed and give us a like. That tells me you like my work. Of course, you can always tell me in the comments too. Now that you've seen Teotihuacan from above, it's time to get a closer look. We took another Didi to Gate 5 for about 30 pesos. There are 5 gates and you can buy tickets at any gate for 95 pesos. On Sundays, entrance is free for Mexicans, so unless you're Mexican and wanting to get in free, it might be a good idea to skip Sundays. It's important to plan your route strategically since the site is very large and you could end up needing to backtrack and walk more than necessary. While we entered at Gate 5, if I was to do it again, I'd enter at Gate 1. The Didi will likely be a tiny bit more since it is farther away from where the balloon tour meets, but it shouldn't be much more and it's worth the extra walking it'll save you. If you start at Gate 1, the first area you'll see is La Ciudadela and the Templo de Quetzalcoatl. What makes Teotihuacan so mysterious is we don't really know who lived there or what happened to them. The name Teotihuacan is Nahuatl for City of the Gods and is what the Mexica people from Tenochtitlan called the city hundreds of years later when they found it abandoned. We used a free audio guide from Smart Guide to help add context to what we were looking at. It was a little cheesy, but it was free, so we can't complain too much. If you'd prefer an in-person guide, there are plenty at the entrance. The Templo de Quetzalcoatl is the 3rd largest pyramid at Teotihuacan and the most ornate as it is decorated with carved serpents. The pyramid would have been painted blue and the serpents would have had glass obsidian eyes. The plaza that surrounds the pyramid is called La Ciudadela and has 15 pyramids that represented mountains during rituals. They would even flood the plaza during these rituals to represent the world, which is super impressive to think about considering this was almost 2,000 years ago. The road that connects this area to the Pyramid of the Moon at the far end is called the Calzada de los Muertos. It's 2 kilometers long, about 1.2 miles, so you can see what I mean about a lot of walking. You'll see the towering Pyramid of the Sun on your right. It's the largest pyramid in Teotihuacan and the 3rd largest in the world, although it's not even the largest pyramid in Mexico. That title goes to Cholula, just a couple hours away in Puebla. It's 70 meters tall, and you used to be able to climb to the top, but that hasn't been allowed since around 2021. The pyramid would have been painted red and was dedicated to the sun god. At the far end of the Calzada de los Muertos is the Pyramid of the Moon and the Palacio de Quetzalcoatl that you can walk through. There are a few structures you can climb to get a better view of the area as well. The platform in the center of the Moon Plaza is thought to have been used for religious dances. The Palacio de Quetzalcoatl was likely the home of the high priest. Nearby is also the Palacio de los Jaguares, with must-see murals of jaguars blowing conch shells, and the underground Templo de los Caracoles Emplumados. At this end of the archaeological sites, there are a lot of souvenir stalls, and there are a few that sell some food as well, like popsicles, sandwiches, and snacks. This is the only area with food inside the archaeological site, so it's the best place to get a snack. I'd recommend packing a lunch or at least a few snacks and getting a popsicle once you reach the Pyramid of the Moon area. You can leave the site though and re-enter with your ticket on the same day, so if you want to leave for food and return you can, but it will add some walking to your day. You can exit at Gate 3 and take the bus back to Mexico City now if you'd like, or you can head back to the Pyramid of the Sun and towards the back on the right, head to the museum. It's a small museum with the artifacts that they found here. Personally, I think it's worth a visit and is best saved for last since it has AC and it gets super hot here. There is no shade at all, so bring a hat, sunscreen, and plenty of water to combat the sun. Starting early will help you beat the crowds and the heat. It was pretty empty when we first arrived, but by 11:30 there were a lot of people. After the museum, you can exit at Gate 2 in front of the Pyramid of the Sun and take the bus back to Mexico City for 60 pesos. It comes every 15 to 20 minutes, and you can take the bus from Gate 1, 2, or 3. It takes about an hour to get back to the Central del Norte station. From here, you can take a Didi or Uber or the metro back to where you're staying. If you aren't doing a hot air balloon tour, you can take the bus to Teotihuacan as well. Just go to Gate 8 at the Central del Norte and follow the signs for Piramides. One last tip, there are a lot of vendors trying to sell you souvenirs at Teotihuacan. If you're not interested, just say no thank you and keep walking. If you are interested, shop around for the best price and wait until the end to purchase so you don't have to carry everything while you walk around and climb stone steps. Teotihuacan makes a perfect day trip for Mexico City. And whether you're taking a magical flight over the pyramids or climbing stone steps and imagining what this city looked like 1,000 years ago filled with 200,000 people, you will have the best time. Thanks for traveling with us, and we'll see you next time.